Welcome once again in the Department of English, RBNB College, Srirampur. And you are watching a video on Animal Farm chapter number 5. So in this video, I have made the plan that which are the most important issues are going to be studied in this chapter or in this part. Number one is the troublesome Molly. Now you already are familiar with the characters in the animal farm and especially the role of Molly. Then next we will study the windmill project in animal farm. Now animals are the rulers. Now John is not ruler, and so the title of the farm is changed. Now it is animal farm. And what are the uses of the windmill project? Snowball explains it in this chapter. Number 3 is the dispute and factious in the animal farm. So on different issues there was the disputes and factious in the animal farm. Snowball is on one side and Napoleon is another side. And how their supporters, then who is going to win? So let us have to study in this chapter. The next point is how Napoleon becomes the dictator in this chapter. And in this chapter, the two characters are going to be vanished. Number 1 is Molly and number 2 is Snowball. So henceforth from chapter number 6, these characters will never appear in the novel again. Why they never appear? Let us have to study. So the first point is how the character of Molly becomes a troublesome character to the farm. Now the chapter opens in the we can say season of winter, and here Molly becomes more and more troublesome. She is always late on her work, and she always get up late from her sleep. And she usually says that there is mysterious pain, and actually she pretends. Okay, and her appetite means desire to food is excellent, but she is not interested to work under the leadership of the animals. So she usually pretends and runs away from the work. And where she goes then? She usually goes to the drinking pool in the animal farm, and she stands there very foolishly, and she gazes her reflection in the water of the pond. And so about her, the rumors are so spread that she has a connection or relation with a man in the adjoining farm. Here Clover, the mare, she is doubtful about the behavior of Molly. So she asks her question, but Molly never gives the answers. Even she pretends and she runs away from the place. So the doubt of Clover becomes more and more strong, we can say. And so Clover tries to find out why this is going to be happen and what Molly is actually doing. So she finds a lump of sugar and several bunches of different colors ribbons under the straw in Molly's stall. And then within 3 days Molly disappears from the animal farm forever. Then later on, after 2 days, pigeon gives the reports to the animals in the animal farm that Molly is in Willingdon and she is with the scarlet ribbon and she is forgotten in the animal farm forever. Then comes January, and January becomes bitter hard weather in the animal farm. And here the pigs takes several meetings for the planning and annual policy, to make the annual policy. And the pigs, who are the leaders in the animal farm, they take several secret meetings, we say, and the secret meetings were planned to make the annual policy in the animal farm. And here the one more thing we notice here, that is, there is always dispute between the two leaders, that is Snowball and Napoleon, and they usually disagree at every point. Even in small issue there is a dispute between them, and usually Snowball wins with the majority because he is an excellent orator. Due to his speech, he usually wins the confidence of the remaining animals in the animal farm. But Napoleon is also very clever to convince the animals, and especially he usually takes the support of sheep in the animal farm. Whenever Snowball gives speech, this sheep starts to bleat the slogan. And what is the popular slogan of the sheep, which we have already studied it? I am going to repeat it: 4 legs good and 2 legs bad. So by giving these slogans, this sheep interrupts the speech of Snowball. Here then Snowball starts to talk on different issues in the animal farm, just like the drainage system in the animal farm, the silage means the green fodder, we can say, or the basic silage, that is the wastage in the animal farm. And he also brings the several schemes for the animals. The one more interesting is, that is to drop the dung directly in the fields at different spot every day. That is, he says it saves the energy as well as time. So it is his plan. Now I come to the next point, that is the windmill project in the animal farm. So this the discussion goes on between Napoleon and Snowball, and Snowball is firm on his decision that the windmill is very helpful to the animals. So he also tries to find out the proper place for the windmill, and then he selects the place which is near a long pasture in the farm building in the animal farm. Actually, it is a small knoll which is the highest point in the animal farm, so you can look after the whole farm. So we can say just the top place in the animal farm. And after making the survey, the place is fixed to operate the dynamo of windmill. And Snowball says that to finish or to complete the windmill project, at least one year is needed for it. And if we get the success by building the windmill, the animals will be felicitated, or animals will be benefited of it. And then later on he tells what are the benefits of the windmill project, or what are the uses of this windmill project. He says that when the work will be over, when the windmill project is established, it is helpful to supply electrical power in the farm for 24 hours. That means he says to animals, if we get the success to build this animal field in the animal field due to the dynamo of this windmill project, you will get 24 hours electricity. So this is the first use of windmill project which Snowball explains. Then he says that every stall of means every animal, living place of every stall would get separate connection of electricity. So you will get separate electricity, and all will get hot water and cold water and electric heater to warm them, especially in the winter season. So he says, due to this electricity or electric power, we can run a circular saw or a chap cutter or a mangle slicer, or there will be the system of electric milking machines. So this machine will run on the electricity. This machine can work while the animals graze in the field. It means Snowball is going to say that whenever you graze in the farm or in the field, the machine will do your work. So you will be benefited when we finish this windmill project. Then he also says that the animals will get free time, and in this free time you can read the different books, or you can communicate with the other animals, and automatically it will improve your mindset. So it is the plan of Snowball. He also assures the animal that there will be, when the windmill project will be over, there will be 3 days week, and the remaining days you can enjoy your freedom. So the labor, it will save. This project will save your time and labor, and you can enjoy or you can reap the freedom. Due to this electricity or electrical power, it can operate the threshing machines, the plow, the harrows, rollers, reapers and binders, everything. So there will be no work for animals. So in short, we can say Snowball defines the uses or utility of the windmill. Next we see that on this issue there was the factions in the animal farm due to the project of then we are told about the project and the mechanical details of it, and from where Snowball takes the knowledge of the windmill project. So I come to the first, that is the mechanical details. From which, what is the sources of mechanical details for Snowball? First of all, he read the books which are in the which belongs to Mr. Jones' library. Okay, so which are these books? The novelist also described the names of these books. The first one is 1000 useful things to do about the house. The second book is Every Man His Own Bricklayers. And the third book is Electricity for Beginners. And here, after reading these 3 books, Snowball, with the help of a chalk, he makes the design, or we can say sketch or drawing of the plan. And all animals in the animal farm visit and observes that plan or that sketch very carefully and with great interest, except Napoleon. So Napoleon never goes there, because when Snowball says windmill project is good for animal, he usually say it is nothing else but just a waste of time. Then it means he describes his reactions towards the projects, and so he says that I am against this project. But suddenly he changed his mind, which you see in the next part of this chapter. On this issue, first of all, the voting was taken on it, whether the windmill project should start or not. And Napoleon says it is nothing else but the waste of time. It is the foolish idea, he says, and it is to better to our animals should concentrate on increase of food production, and this is the requirement of time. Now here you see there is a completely division of the animals in the animal farm on two issues. On snowball side, windmill project is important. It will be benefited for the animals. Their labor will be saved. They will get freedom. On the other side, Napoleon says windmill project is just a foolish idea. It is better to increase the food production, and otherwise the animals will die with the starvation. Then later on, the voting was taken, and it was decided to build the windmill project. Then Napoleon, when all the animals were disappear, then there comes this hero or leader, that is Napoleon. He looks every details in the sketch and he starts to think on it. But finally, he lift his leg and urine on that plan. And so in this way, we can see that there is the completely how the animal farm is divided on this issue. So there are other issues even also. After the speech, the slogans become very popular in the animal farm. And Snowball says, vote for Snowball and the 3 days week. Vote, and Napoleon says, Napoleon supporter says, vote for Napoleon and a full manger. Only there is one character who never has interest in this dispute, and that is Benjamin, because he does not side with each fraction, we can say, because he says that he has no interest in the dirty politics of these animals. Then there is another issue on which there is a dispute in these two leaders, that is Napoleon and Snowball, and that issue is the issue of defense. Here Snowball thinks that Napoleon thinks that we win the cowshed battle, but somehow or in the future John will come back with full preparation for to win this animal farm again. So we have to prepare for this war, because henceforth he will come with a number of people, he will come with the number of, we can say, arms. So we have to prepare for it. And on this issue there was a dispute, and unfortunately these two leaders, they never agree on the issue. Napoleon wants that the animals in the animal farm should procure firearms and train themselves in the use of them. In short, we can say, what is Napoleon's policy? If you want peace, then prepare for war. If you are well prepared, enemy will never come, or enemy will afraid you, and Mr. John will not attack the animal farm. While Snowball has another idea, and he wants to send more pigeons in the adjoining farms and to steer up the animals among the other animals of the other farms, and steer up the animals for the revolt. In short, we can say that if peace is everywhere, then there will be no need to prepare for war. So on the issue of defense, we have clear-cut division between the leaders as well as the remaining animals in the animal farm. Finally, the voting was taken on it, and animals gathered together. In the last chapter, we studied that all the other animals, they only learn how to vote. And in a Sunday meeting, both the leaders, first of all, they give their speech, and sheep, as usual, try to interrupt the speech of Snowball and starts bleating, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, like this. Even when Snowball starts to give speech, Napoleon knows it better that Snowball is a good orator and animals will support him. So he already planned for it, and he made a sound, and within few seconds, 9 enormous, young, huge and fierce looking dogs appear in the scene. They just look like the wolves, and they wear brass stud collars, and they jumped on Snowball. So Snowball can't understand what happens. So Snowball starts to run away from the platform, or from the meeting, we say, and all of these 9 dogs, they chase Snowball, and finally Snowball gets success to save his life and disappear from the animal farm forever. So Molly is already gone, Snowball is already gone here, and other animals in the animal farm, they are surprised, they are astonished, and they are afraid to see the scene. When dogs return, they stand near Napoleon and starts to wag their tails to him. And Snowball henceforth is neither seen nor talk in the animal farm. And when the rival, we can say, or the opposite leader is out of the way, here the last point comes, that is Napoleon becomes the dictator in the animal farm, and from henceforth half of the part is reserved, the novel is reserved for it. And how, though the rulers are changed, the novelist is going to explain it. Only the rulers are changed, or when the rulers are changed, the we can say condition of the common people or the average people, it never changes. And this message the novelist would like to give here. Napoleon becomes the absolute leader, and he has got the sovereign power, and he takes the place of old Major, and he immediately declares in a Sunday meeting that henceforth there will be no meeting, and because these meetings are unnecessary, it is nothing but the wastage of times. So he forms the committee of the pigs presided by himself, and he says that henceforth animals in the animal farm would get the orders through the pigs only. There will be no meeting, and animal has no right or no daring or no power to oppose Napoleon, because they themselves observe the we can say incident, or remember the incident about Snowball. So in short, we can say animals are going to be slave of Napoleon the pig. First they were the slave of human beings, and now they are the slaves of Napoleon, that is animal even also. Even animal forgets the animalism or the principles of animalism, and they are always under pressure. They are afraid of death. There is afraid of the 9 fearful dogs. Next we see the announcement of the windmill project and Squealer's speech. So Squealer, the another pig, he usually appreciates the work of Napoleon and tries to explain the other animals what is the sacrifice of Napoleon, comrade Napoleon, how he also explains the other animals, my comrades, my friends, Napoleon takes leadership for yourself only. Don't think that leadership is a, we can say, majesty, etc. It is not a pleasure. It is a deep and heavy responsibility. But for your sake, Napoleon takes these responsibilities. And Napoleon, he says, Napoleon always thinks that all the animals are equal. He says, Napoleon will take the correct decision, the right decision for you. And he also comments on Snowball, that Snowball is our real enemy. Then suddenly he says that henceforth Napoleon decides to build the windmill. Other animals were surprised because they are familiar with the incident when Napoleon has different views on the issue of the windmill. But Squealer says, actually it is the plan of Napoleon, but Snowball steals the plan, and we want, or by hook or crook, we have to build this windmill. It will take 2 years. So all of us have to try very hard. Then somebody says that but Snowball is the supporter of it, and while Napoleon is the opponent of it. Immediately Squealer says that it is the tactics, the word used by Squealer is very interesting. It is the tactics, it is the strategy of Napoleon, like this. Then somebody says that Snowball actively participates in the cowshed battle, but Squealer says it is only exaggeration. Actually, he is the supporter, Miss Snowball is the supporter of John. In this way, here Squealers with the bombarding quotations and examples explains that your true friend is Napoleon, and in this way Napoleon slowly become powerful character in the novel. And here chapter number 5 ends. So thank you to spare time with me.